All right, Chad, you guys want to go upstairs? I guess we can go meet all the animals. First off, we have to meet Doggo. I'm gonna introduce my animals. Okay, so if you guys are wondering, one, hi, welcome. If this makes it onto YouTube, hi. I realized that we have a lot of new viewers on the stream. Can I get a 1 in the chat if you have not met my animals yet? Like, you've seen some of around here, but I have 7 of them. And I know that a lot of you don't know what I own, who I own, what their names are, what their temperaments are, what they're like, all that sort of shit. There's a lot of new people around here. And so I thought that it would be good to have a date that we just introduced you guys to all of my animals. Starting off, of course, with Doggo. Hardy Boy, come here. So this is Hardy Boy. He's a Basset Hound Beagle Terrier, and we got him as a mistake.
You what?
So we were going into a pet store in Virginia where we lived, and they were having an adoption stand inside because it was raining at the time. And we were just going to get something random for one of the animals. I think it was for Bud. I think Bud needed like a new light bulb or something. We were like, yeah, let's just go walk past the adoption stand. And Hardy Boy was completely gassed from the car ride over there and was just a puddle melting in his cage. Just absolutely super cuddly, super cute puppo. And I told Hannah before we even got near him, I was like, if we're gonna adopt a dog, it's that one. And she and I both fell in love with him by accident, completely as a mistake. And we started coming back every single week to see Hardy Boy and see if he was still around. And he was. No one wanted him. We put in an application to adopt him. And we were told by the woman there that we do not adopt out to couples under the age of like 30 or like married, unless you're under like over 30 or married, because people break up, people give the dogs back, people are irresponsible at a young age. And so we had to fight tooth and nail. Like, you know, we got references from the doctors because Hannah's a veterinary technician. We got references from the doctors saying like, you know, we're good to adopt him, whatever. I provided my proof of income because you guys, this was like right when my stream was starting to pop off and I was making enough of a living to support a dog. And I was like, yep. And they're like, is this income going to be consistent over the next 3 years? And I said, yes. I lied to their face. I didn't know whether or not my stream is going to continue to go up, but thankfully it did. I lied directly to their face and eventually they let us have him. And he was a terrible dog at first. Absolutely fucking terrible. Because we thought that his temperament was in the cage that we saw him in the adoption stand, was what he was all the time. A couch potato, little lazy bitch. That was just him post-anxiety attack in the car ride over. And so, yeah, we had to do a lot of training with him. We did like 9 months of one of the best training organizations in Richmond, Virginia. I'll just shout out the name, All Dog Adventures. If you guys live in Richmond, Virginia, have a doggo. All Dog Adventures, they're poggy. But yeah, he's now like literally the best dog that I've ever owned. And I love him to death. I loved him the whole time, by the way. It's not that I didn't love him. Yes. Yeah. All of our animals, by the way, have a B name. All of them are a B name. And Hardy was his adopted name. So that was his name when we got him. And we wanted to name him. We wanted to come up with a B name for him. Now, and Boy was up there. I just wanted to name him Boy, right? B name, Boy, cool. That was right around the time that God of War and Bird Box, the movie, like The Quiet Place, but the opposite, came out. And so I was like, you know, kind of ruined the name Boy. Kind of can't do that. So I just ended up adding Boy to the end of Hardy Boy. And that's where Hardy Boy came in. So you might see the bunnies running out. This is the bunny room. We come upstairs. This is supposed to be a home office, but it's just turned into a bunny room. This right here is Bevan. We'll meet him in a minute because he'll come out in a second. You might see way back there in the corner hiding is Bun. She's over at her litter box, probably getting ready to take a big poo because she was just running. I want to start with Bud. So yeah, Bud is our bearded dragon. How old is he now? 5?
He's almost 5.
Yeah,
4 or 5.
He's like 4 or 5. But so Hannah rescued Bud in Florida on my money from chat, said thank you. This was when we were dating long distance and wanting to move in together. So Bud came into her work with did he have a brother at the time or no?
No, they weren't related.
Two separate?
It was 2 separate people.
Wow.
Surrendered a bearded dragon the same day.
So he was surrendered to her work. And they were like, yeah, we don't know what the fuck we're doing and we can't take care of him. He was 2 years old.
He wasn't eating. He stopped eating and he stopped pooping. That's why they brought him in.
Well, he was 2 years old at the time, and his entire life, he was only given heat not getting any sunlight, and he was only fed meat. He was never given any vegetables, which bearded dragons need a lot of. It's about 70% of their diet as an adult. And so he had 4 broken legs from a bone disease that he would develop from not getting enough nutrients, and he had a second butthole because he lived on sand and was fed only meat, so his butt became impacted. Basically, nothing could come out, so his body created a second one and started pooping out of the abscessed hole. Really gross, but he's good now. He can walk, he can move. He's got his second butt closed up.
We nursed him back to health.
Yeah, but fun fact, you guys want to feed him? Bud to this day still doesn't recognize veggies as food. So we have to force feed him. Luckily, Bud has an OP passive, and that is underbite. So you see this, his bottom lip is lower. You can shove shit into his mouth, and he'll eat whatever's in his mouth. Recently, though, because for a while, his only veggie that he was getting was like squish. It was squash, we call it squish. But we would put like vitamins and nutrients on it. But we wanted to give him something more natural, and we know that this might be bad for his teeth long term. So we started blending up some of his essential veggies. This is collard greens, turnip greens, and what other greens?
Mustard greens.
Mustard greens. Go, bud, go!
Where are you going?
I don't know where you're going. But yeah, we blended it up and made a little shake for him. This is my everyday. This is why when I'm like, I have to get off stream right now, I have things to do. It's because Bud's light goes off at a certain time, so by a certain time of the day, I need to give him his food so it can digest.
I don't believe bearded dragons can drop their tails, Dana. I know leopard geckos are really prone to that, but I don't believe beardies can.
So you just use the underbite to get the syringe in his mouth, and then once he starts tasting it, he bites down really hard and starts slurping. You
can give it a little faster.
I always go slow. Yeah.
Yum, yum, yum.
1 milliliter of stuff, but he's looking like he's wanting to run, so I'm gonna put him back in the cage and we'll feed him a little bit more later. Miss Bine. Hi. Do you want some of this?
Hey, no sir, table.
Come here. Come here.
The dog's disobeying.
Anytime that I get near her, it always means that she's gonna get brushed or something, so she's always worried.
No, she has learned not to trust treats.
Okay.
She has learned not to trust treats when she's out, because I used to use treats to pick her up to like trim her nails and stuff, so. Yeah. No. Bevan, on the other hand, says it's Treato time.
I don't care what you do, as long as at the end of the day the treat comes.
Hi.
He's fine.
So, Bun is my first animal. I adopted her in Florida because I was in a vet tech program that needed me to film videos performing injections and that type of stuff on a bunny, and nobody wanted me to use their bunny for that, obviously, so I had to adopt a bunny. So I got Bun. I did not name her Bun when I first got her. I named her Astrid, but I have never called her that in my entire life. I have only ever called her Bun, so her name is Bun. And then I moved her to Virginia, and now she is here in Colorado. But she was my very first bunny. I think she's 3 or 4, or turning 4 this year. She's like close to Bud's age.
And then we were once again at the pet store, and Evan was really sad.
No. So what happened is that I got very busy with work and with other animals and whatnot, and I couldn't give Bun the life that she had in Florida, which was a college student that lived at home and did online college, so I could spend 24 hours with her all the time. And that's what she was used to. So I wanted to get her a friend, and I was planning on getting her a friend for a really long time. And then we went to the pet store to get some bunny supplies, and we found this little fucker being all cute in a little cage that needed to be adopted. And we found out that he was bonded with a female bunny, and that female bunny was adopted and he was left alone. So I was like, this is a perfect recipe for a friend for my Bun. And we got him. He was 2 years old when we got him, which was the same age as Bun at the time. And they fucking hate each other. So they are...
That's incorrect. Incorrect.
They are not housed together, or at least they
incorrect.
hated each other when we first got them.
Yes.
I am in the process of making them love each other. They'll snuggle and whatnot, like at the bar. They really like each other, but they just have some agreements at times. But we are working on getting them
They're
together.
that couple that as soon as they move in together, they break up, but then they move away and then they get back together.
Yeah, so in the new house, they're gonna have a single cage because I am determined to have them bonded because they're really nice to each other now. They weren't at the beginning, but they're good. But yes, Bevan is a neutered 3-year-old bunno that doesn't like to be touched or handled because he was not touched or handled when he was a baby.
Would you like to see a hamster? We are going to take apart his cage sticks. We need to clean it.
There's a snooty.
I don't know if you can see that snooty in there sniffing around. He did this last night, by the way. He blocked up the entire entrance to his house. So this is like makeshift huts, and then there's a giant house back here, completely buried. But yeah, he's got a fucking mini mansion.
So this is Beyblade, better known as Blade. We call him Hammy most of the time. I've wanted a hamster for a really long time. And Tristan was having...
He's so sleepy.
I see him. Tristan was having a subathon. Oh. And there it goes.
That's your hamster interaction.
Tristan was having a subathon one day, and the biggest fucking goal was for us to adopt a hamster because I've wanted one for a really long time and I was prepared to have one. And we actually hit that fucking goal, so we got a hamster. We have him in, I think this is a 50-gallon tank with a sugar glider wheel.
Yeah. This is the cage we need to get for Bud, but this is like $280.
Yeah,
And
just for this size.
I had a really good day the day that we went out to buy the hamster cage. Thank you guys.
Like I said, we hit a subathon goal.
I was like, feeling good. I was like, all right, we're gonna lavish lifestyle.
Yeah, so Bud's in a 75-gallon fish aquarium, which is different for reptiles. So that means it's taller, but it has less floor space. So we want to get him like an actual reptile tank that's 75 or more. Because then he'll have more floor space, and the floor space is the thing that really
We're running
matters.
shit on our carpet.
So
We'll get paper towel ready. Yeah. So.
oh, he licked you guys. Just watch that on the camera.
Who's your favorite so far, chat? It's okay to have a favorite.
We both have favorites.
Yep. They are not smart enough to know that we have favorites. It's very true, though. Exactly. That's like the thing. Also, fun fact about bearded dragons that I like to share is, if he stops running,
There's a bottle.
right here in the center of his forehead, it's hard to see, but there's a little gray spot. He actually has a third eye. It's so that if he's out in the desert and a predator comes across from the top of his head,
It's a very large.
it basically, it doesn't see very well. It doesn't see really at all. It just kind of detects motion. It's like those like spy cameras you used to have as a kid that you would place down and you thought it was a tripwire, and it would like alert you back in your room if your mom was coming upstairs. You'd be like, fuck yeah, I know, even though I can also hear her and she's calling my name. But yeah, it's literally just a detector. So if you ever just see him randomly look up, it's because he thinks like a shadow moved across his head. Yeah, motion sensor, essentially. Neji. You got the Bakugan. Sorry, Byakugan. Bakugan's the toys, right?
All of our animals kind of can live simultaneously with each other. The bunnies don't really give a shit about the lizard. The lizard doesn't
Subscribe
really give a
to
shit about
Frost
the bunnies.
Crime for more
We
animal
don't really let them
contents.
interact, though.
Or people backseating him on
Doggo
Slay the
mostly is just
Spire.
whining because he wants to play with the bunny. I don't trust Doggo with the bearded dragon ever by himself. Because we've never let them interact because Bud can carry parasites that can be given to the dog. So we just never let them interact, so that's why I would never trust him alone with the bearded dragon. But the bunnies Hardy Boy has played with, he just plays way too rough. We don't let them, and the bunnies don't really appreciate rough playing, so we don't really let them play with each other. Thankfully, Hardy Boy is somewhat of a good boy.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Bev, but I gotta scare you.
Thankfully, Hardy Boy is somewhat of a good boy and will remain on the couch because we told him to.
He just complains the entire
He just
time.
whines because he wants to play. Bevan really wanted to sniff your ass, by the way. I don't know if you saw.
Oh my god! Big binky! So that's called a binky. It's basically just they're happy and they need to let it out. And so they just kind of burst with
They
happiness.
just pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like how guinea pigs will popcorn. It's like the same thing. Bevan really likes to binky though.
Yeah, Bevan really likes to binky. Bun really likes to do laps.
Yeah, she
We'll get really
sprints.
excited and do like 7 laps around the room. And then we'll just go back in the couch and sit down for 5 hours because she's hot. Hey.
As you can see, all the animals are not affected by his wooing at all.
Enough. Do you want to go to your crate? Get a little mental reset?
Yeah, none of the animals are affected by wooing from Hardy Boy. None of them are affected by like screaming and yelling because they listen to Tristan all day.
I know, you caused that. That's not fair that you can't play with him. Oh, this is not fair. This is not fair.
So this is all for them.
This is our bedroom, and you can see it's one giant playground for sugar gliders. All of the sweatshirts that are hanging up, they'll climb on the curtain rods at night. It's hard to show. People are like, why don't you ever get videos of it? It's because they're nocturnal, so they like the darkness. So we play with
The cat tower is not for a cat. It's for the sugar gliders.
Yeah, we bought a 9-level cat tower. That was $170. But literally, when we play with them at night, all we do is we turn on this light, and then we play with them out in the room in complete darkness. So it's hard to get videos of it. And when I do get a video of it, Twitter flags my videos saying that I am showing a scrotum because Baby is a white animal with saggy tendencies. Bugs, you gonna yell at me? Buggy man. Hey, yo. He's gonna wake up.
yelling?
No yelling, huh? I think I have.
A white boy.
Hi. So this is Baby. Should have brought up Trito. We can give him a Trito right now. Here.
You can give him yogis.
Yeah, I'll give him a Yogi. Put him right here.
White boy.
He might go run back to bed.
Thank you for subscribing.
So Baby was our first glider.
Hey Frost, just a message from Naked Mole Rat MILF Gang.
Thank you. So we got Baby because so the sugar glider is the one animal that I've always wanted to own, just because they can bond with you and they're very lovey-dovey. But I recommend that if you see this video and you're like, wow, I really want a sugar glider, don't. They're extremely hard to take care of and you are not equipped to do so.
Majority of people.
The only reason that I can give him a good life, or them now, is because I spend most of my days with them. They're in my pocket a lot of the time. We play with them for hours every single night. They are super bonded to me. But we got Baby as a solo glider. A bunch of people told me I was abusive for doing so, and that he'd be a terrible, terrible thing, whatever. You need to get him in pairs. But I put in the time and effort in order to bond with him, and he was perfectly fine for a very long time. But I was like, once COVID ends, which I thought was actually going to end for a little while, I was like, I am going to want to... Sorry, almost dropped it. I'm going to want to travel and, go out to, Magic Carpus Fly, his dice check shit that he's doing out in California, or go to, maybe a convention in Europe or something, but... So we got a second one, because one of Hannah's coworkers was breeding them. We got a second one. And so we now have Bugs, so that Baby can have a companion.
Look how little he is. He's
They don't like the light, so that's why they go back in their cage to eat, and he's gonna go behind the wheel, because he's very sensitive to light.
But look at the bat. He's a bat.
But yeah, so Twitter thinks that this is a scrotum.
He's like, don't mess with
It's
my
not a
bat
scrotum,
wing.
Twitter!
It's just a very cute bat wing.
But we were talking about favorites. Baby is most definitely my favorite, because he and I have a bond that is just indescribable. Thank you. How old are they? Baby is coming up on...
He's
3?
2.5.
Yeah, he's coming up
Yeah,
on...
because
he'll be 3 in
literally
March.
today was the anniversary of us getting him 2
Oh,
years
really?
ago. Yeah, I sent you the Snapchat.
I didn't know that was the anniversary of him.
Yeah.
I'll put that video on Twitter tonight then. I didn't know this was the anniversary.
Yeah, today is the anniversary
Yeah.
of getting him.
Baby will be 3 in March, and Bugs it will be a year in
Oh, fuck.
October, November.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think so. I think October.
Yeah, they're little ones. They live for about 12 to 15 years. But again, please, the only thing I ask that you take away from us doing the animal video and introduction with sugar gliders is you do not get them. Do not think that they are a cute animal that you can take care of. We got a bunch of new viewers to the stream, and fucking Jesse raided me. Thank you again, Jesse, for still around. Yeah, we got a bunch of new people on the stream, so... got a bunch of people who don't know my animals. Oh. And I am back. I reveal to you... me!